Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 13th episode of the News Just News weekly roundup. I'm Adam. I'm a writer for newsjustnews.com, where we discuss all sorts of topics from entertainment to economics to capybaras, of course. And I am joined by the lovely Lucia. Hello, Lucia.
Hello, everyone.
And the excellent Anna. Hello, Anna.
Hello, guys.
So today, 13th episode, guys. Unlucky for some, but we do have some really nice, happy articles today. So let's just get into it. The biggest news, especially for America, is the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny. We talked about this a little bit last week, but now it's finally happened. Tell us all about it, Lucia. Anna.
We talked about it. We talked about Bad Bunny last week and everything going on there, and it was very exciting to see how the outcome would go, and it went really well. Spoiler alert. I think this made history, and it was one of the most watched halftime Super Bowl concerts ever. I think it was approximately 128.2 million viewers who came and watched it. And then after that, on social media, it was billions. I mean, it was everywhere. We saw it. So obviously hosted on February 8th in the Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. It was an incredible show by Bad Bunny, all in Spanish, and beautiful, beautiful performance that just showcased true unity and Puerto Rican and Latin culture. We had guests. We had Lady Gaga there and Ricky Martin, and we even had appearances of people like Cardi B, who had Bad Bunny in her song "I Like It," one of my favorite songs. Even Pedro Pascal, and they were all dancing in the casita, and it was just there were so many elements and symbolic attributes to the show. It started off in sugarcane field, which is symbolic of back in the day, and then where there were bars. There was an actual marriage ceremony. Bad Bunny then climbed electrical pylons, which was kind of a tribute to the 2017 Hurricane Maria. So many references, so much to unpack. But I think the most powerful part of it all, especially considering the US climate right now, politically, with ICE and Trump, is the ending, in which there was the banner that said, "The only thing more powerful than hate is love." And Bad Bunny held a football saying, "Together we are America," in which after he basically gave a plea of unity, and there were flags of South, North, and Central America, essentially saying that as America, it is everywhere in America. It's not just the United States. And such a powerful statement, something we needed to hear and something the media needed to see. And it sparked such great discussions. It's warmed my heart, and I'm just so happy about it. So yeah, that's the basic rundown.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was such a touching tribute to like Latin America as well. You could see the set, the grass. You felt like you were there, especially with the background characters. And I think, yeah, it definitely is needed in this time. I mean, Lucia, did you get a chance to see it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really liked it as well, and I absolutely loved the fact that it was completely in Spanish. I think that was a really nice thing. And I know that this obviously has been very controversial. It's always been since he's been announced as, the host for this specific show. But even now that it's happened, like I've seen and read about loads of people complaining about the fact that, the Super Bowl is like maybe the quintessential American, show. It's like the biggest event, and it should have not been in Spanish. But, I think it was amazing, and I think it should have been in Spanish, and it's really good. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've certainly seen, I think a lot of people just don't know that Puerto Rico is in like a part of the US. I think that's just the main
Yeah.
But then hopefully this can be used as a way to just educate people on that fact. And there's different types of Americans. Some Americans speak Spanish, etc. But I mean, this isn't the only controversy from the Super Bowl, isn't that right? There's another celebrity, Serena Williams, the tennis star. She's got herself into a bit of hot water, hasn't she, Lucia?
Yes, she appeared in an advertisement. So obviously, we know that during the Super Bowl, we always see many ads for, the most different companies. And she actually appeared during an advert for weight loss medication. So in this specific ad, she could be seen injecting herself with a GLP-1 weight loss medication from a company called Ro, which is a telehealth company. And it's been very controversial, but at the same time, you can see why that came to be the way it came to be. So Ro is this company, and this health company, and her husband is actually a board member and an investor of the company. So many people started to say, she just did it for the financial aspect of it, and it shouldn't be something that gets shown during the Super Bowl. Loads of people online said that it was insensitive, that it was disgusting, because it is, an event that is followed by a lot of families, a lot of young people, a lot of kids that are exposed to this sort of advertisement. And even myself, the following day after the Super Bowl, I was online, and loads of people were saying, I just miss when the ads used to be about beers and trucks, so different kinds of soft drinks that you could buy. And now it's about, it looks like a Black Mirror episode, and you got this tennis megastar injecting herself live, basically, with a medication. And yeah, I mean, it has been very controversial. And even though, it's not something completely new for her, because just last month she went on the Oprah podcast, and she said that it's actually relating to her own experience, because after she got pregnant, she struggled a lot to lose weight. So even though she was saying, I was hitting the gym every day, I was very careful about my food intake and all of that, but I could not lose weight. And getting, to try these medications was actually at the beginning quite daunting, because she saw them as kind of like a shortcut, like we were saying the other time. But then after she started using it, she actually found it really really useful, and she actually lost weight. And during the ad, she was saying that she lost 30 pounds, which equals to more or less 15 kilos. It's quite a lot of weight to be losing all at once. And yeah, she found herself in a bit of a hot water situation, because it's kind of like it's not the typical ad you're used to see on an event like this. And also, she's one of the biggest names in sports to ever exist. But at the same time, I feel it's kind of very telling about the era that we're living through, because it's not something that's completely out of pocket. It is something that people talk about, and it's part of many people's and many stars' reality now. So yeah, it doesn't really surprise me to see that, even though it is obviously a big thing to show to families and kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say even that comment about the beer just is, for me, that's kind of weird, because at least in my head, surely advertising that is worse. Advertising that to kids is worse, but I don't know. I mean, there's been, obviously, the Super Bowl adverts are huge. I mean, I wrote for newsjustnews.com. You can check out my article where I went through all the celebrities in there. There was a mini Friends reunion. George Clooney, there was everyone there. Lady Gaga did another piece in an advert. So this there is quite a lot. There's just so much influence there. Anna, what do you think about, do you think, especially as a sports star that Serena is, do you think she sort of has maybe a bit more, I don't know, I guess, should she be more careful when she's advertising things like this?
I mean, we've talked about on the podcast before the dangers of when it comes to GLP-1 medications. And it makes me sad to see it as an athlete, especially, and during a commercial in an athletic event. Because as we know, GLP-1 is usually used for people who struggle with diabetes or who are overweight. And it has become now a trend for people who don't fit into those categories, who don't necessarily need it. And Lucia, like you were saying, she gained pregnancy weight, struggled to lose it. Fair enough. But that also adds to, the stigma around, pregnancy weight is a real thing. It just makes me a bit sad, especially as an athlete. Like her being an athlete, it's not really something I feel like an athlete should be promoting. I think it's quite a harmful ideology to promote. And also because those GLP medications make you lose muscle mass. So it feels a bit ironic to me. And I get what you mean, I don't know, about the whole beer thing and all of that. But I think with the beer commercials, I find them more playful and more, the Super Bowl commercials have always been so iconic and exciting and fun. And this kind of seems like it's turning into a commercialization kind of thing, and aesthetically, let's do this. So I was quite sad to see it, but everyone has an opinion and everyone has a right to one. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think there is just a lot more scrutiny nowadays in terms of adverts. I know in the UK a few months back we decided that now there's a junk food advertising ban, so you can't show junk food in especially television adverts. So I think there's just, when it comes to health and stuff, obviously it's a massive business in America, so of course it was going to be controversial. Well, anyway, sticking on the sports topic, I do have a little bit of a lighter story for you guys. To do with the Winter Olympics in Milan. So a Spanish figure skater, Tomas Lorenz Granino Sabate. This is his first time at the Olympics. This is his debut, and he chose to do music from the Minions. So if you can imagine it, but there was actually, he almost didn't because obviously Universal owns the copyright to it, to the Despicable Me franchise and the Minions. So it's like literally the day before the Olympics was meant to start, he was like, I can't do it, guys. But then he managed to get the rights to 4 songs. One of the songs being the iconic Universal theme song, like ba 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 ba, as sung by the Minions, of course. And he also wore a bright banana yellow top with some blue overalls in an ode to the Minions. And he did actually skate. It was on the 10th, and he came 25th, so he was like just out of the top pick for tomorrow's free skate, but I think he certainly said that he wanted to do the Minions to show that figure skating can be fun and, especially attract more of an audience. Like Lucia, we've talked about people using pop stars in films and such. What do you think about this sort of pivot to attract a different audience for figure skating?
I think it's really fun. It's a really fun idea. And the Olympics, they're followed by a lot of people. Obviously, the Winter Olympics, maybe they're a little bit less influential than the actual Olympics, but there's still a lot of people watching them. And I think it's just fun to have something different every now and then. And also, there's been like so many iconic moments already. It just started like less than a week ago, I think. And the Olympics have given us like a lot of iconic things already. I don't know if you guys have seen about the Norwegian skier who went live and said that he cheated on his girlfriend. That was insane. Like, why would you do that? And it was so amazing and fun, and everyone's talking about it. And I don't know, he just went live and literally went, oh yeah, I've met the woman of my life 6 months ago, but then 3 months ago I cheated on her. Okay. And then he just went on and said that he hopes that this is the way to get her back, which I don't know about you, but I don't think that's going to work. But yeah, like so many. Yeah. She actually, I was reading the news for Norway yesterday, and she was actually interviewed, and she said that it was a very difficult moment for her right now, and that she did not choose to be put on the spot like that, and that as we can expect, it actually is not probably gonna work. But yeah, it's just been very iconic up until now, and I think this just adds to the iconic idea of the Olympics. It's something fun and something different to have, and I think it's really nice.
Yeah, definitely. Anna, have you been watching any of the sports, Anna? Maybe. But do you think something like this might encourage you to next time?
I've definitely been watching the figure skating. I think we might know here, we're not really sports people here, especially me. I don't, but figure skating, very good. And I love the switch. I love the happiness of the minions, and adding to that, it kind of reminds me of Disney on Ice. And just I think, I was watching actually some of the performances last night of figure skating, and they can be quite serious sometimes, and which is beautiful. It's majestic in a way, but I also love the theatrical part of it. I love it when there's such a passion. You can see the passion through it, and I love the minion performance. So I'm really happy it happened. Gia, I'm trying to compose myself after you talked about that incident with the guy who cheated on his. There's been so many, as you were saying, there's been so many moments coming out of this, and I've personally, very horrible story that he, cheated, but the media has been insane. And I'm just glad this minion thing happened, because it's kind of pivoting away from that.
That's nice, because there's also the controversy with the Russian, I think, skeleton, where one of the helmets he was wearing, it was like an ode, like in memory of the Ukrainian victims of the war. And I think it was literally today he was disqualified because you're not allowed to wear political things. Is this really political though? Like that's just what I have to say, because it's in memorial. You wouldn't say a World War II memorial is necessarily political. But yeah, that isn't the only sad news today, because we've got a sad death today, don't we, Lucia?
Yeah, actually, it was just announced last night that James Van Der Beek died. He was the actor who played Dawson in Dawson's Creek. I think you guys are a bit younger to have watched that, but it is an iconic show from the late 90s, and it went on until 2003 or 2005, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just a very big show. And even though, his career has always been very much connected to Dawson's Creek, he's always said that he loved playing that character, and he just, he was very happy to still be connected to that show. And unfortunately, yeah, he passed away just last night, yesterday, and he was only 48, so he was still young, very young, and he died of bowel cancer. And he had been also quite vocal about this sickness and this illness. He, just a few months ago, I think there was a kind of like a revival event that was organized with the other actors from the show, which, was very useful to create the careers of many important actors right now. Like Joshua Jackson was in it, Katie Holmes was in it, Michelle Williams. So loads of big names, and they all went up together and did this revival with him. And it was also kind of like aimed to get money for him to pay for his cures for the cancer. So it was also, quite a nice event to help him out. But unfortunately, yeah, it wasn't enough, and he passed away last night. So it was, yeah, really nice, a really sad story. And I don't know if you guys were, ever watched Dawson's Creek, but it was really iconic. It was like a really nice show. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't seen it. There was kind of like a wake of, he did set off that iconic era, didn't he? I think we were talking before, Anna, and you watched, was it the OC that you were watching, and that's what came after that, right?
Yeah, so I mean, the late 90s and early 2000s, that to me at least was the golden age of television. I'm currently binging all of those, and Dawson's Creek is actually next on my list. I've just finished the OC. I'm now watching One Tree Hill, next is Dawson's Creek. So I think it would be a beautiful thing to just dedicate this episode to him, because truly it did leave a mark. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, on to one talking about the past. There is there is the movie, the Wuthering Heights movie. I think we should move on to that. Start talking about something that's sad. And well, I mean, I say something sad. All I've seen about the Wuthering Heights movie is it is universally panned. I generally don't think I've talked to someone who liked it. I mean, have either of you seen it?
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
No? But do you want to you want to see it? And do you like, what are your expectations for it?
So as for me, I've read the book ages ago, and I remember not liking it. So I start from a very low point already. I don't think that the casting is particularly good for it. I think this is one of the main concerns, and also the fact that, I don't know, Emerald Fennell, who's the director for the movie, is kind of known for, kind of like controversial, very brash movies. I don't know if you guys have seen her previous work, but it's always quite, controversial. Loads of people talk about it when she does a movie. And in this case specifically, Wuthering Heights is such a loved novel and such an iconic piece of literature. So I feel like it's kind of impossible to make everyone happy, but apparently she didn't make anyone happy. It's just bad. And, their performances apparently are good, but it's just not really a faithful adaptation. And it's just, I don't know. I think I will watch it just to see how it is, but my expectations are quite low. Yeah.
What about you, Anna?
I'm certainly going to watch it for Margot Robbie. I love her. And Jacob Elordi, I found that casting interesting, but I've heard great things about the performances in it. But literally, like you were saying, they have been mixed reviews, to put it lightly. It's obviously such a loved classic, and I think it was quite reimagined in this film. A lot of people have been calling it a bit grotesque, maybe a bit sexual, and seen it as a bit inappropriate and not really capturing the nuances of the original classic. But I will definitely be watching it for Valentine's Day. As a single person, I'm going to be doing that. So, yeah.
No, but definitely about the casting. I was seeing, I saw a video and it was saying this person, this face hasn't seen an iPhone. They were going through that, and it was like, they were like, these people have clearly seen an iPhone. We need different people. But yeah, that's definitely echoing all that I've heard about. It's just sort of a weird interpretation of the book. Is kind of the vibes that I've been hearing. Especially, I mean, like I've heard a little bit of like Charlie XCX's soundtrack for it, and I don't know. I think even she is a bit of an odd choice for the movie as well. But yeah. Anyway,
we'll see.
Maybe we'll have to wait for a review of one of you two guys, and then we can discuss that. But in the meantime, thank you guys for being here today. Thank you to everyone at home who was watching. You can read everything that we've talked about today on newsjustnews.com, and there are plenty of articles on so much more. You will find something that you love. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.